Dear students, we have already started some basic concepts of the chapter coordinate geometry, and we have studied the coordinates of a point, how to locate a point in the Cartesian plane, and the four quadrants. Let us revise once again these concepts and apply these concepts in solving some very important questions of NCERT. So we have a question in which we are asked in which quadrant on which axis do each of the points minus 2 comma 4, 3 comma minus 1, minus 1 comma 0, 1 comma 2 and minus 3 comma minus 5 lie. So you have to verify your answer also by locating them on the Cartesian plane. Now see, if we are given some points, by merely looking at the points can we tell that this particular point is in which quadrant or this particular point is in which quadrant? Yes, it is possible by looking at the sign of the abscissa and the ordinate, that is the first coordinate and the second coordinate. So we know that this is our quadrant system. Here this is first quadrant, this is second quadrant, this is third quadrant, and this is fourth quadrant. And you know that if a point lies in the first quadrant, then both its coordinates are going to be positive. First coordinate abscissa positive, second coordinate is also positive. Similarly in the second coordinate, because x-axis, now the point x-axis is in the left direction, so the first coordinate will be negative and second coordinate will be positive. Similarly, if we have this third quadrant, then if a point lies in the third quadrant, then both its coordinates will be negative, first coordinate also and second coordinate also. Similarly, if a point lies in the fourth quadrant, then the coordinate of the first coordinate will have a positive sign and the second quadrant will have a negative sign. We can look here by the system of the axis. Here we have positive x-axis on the right side and negative x-axis on the left side, positive y-axis on the upside and negative y-axis on the downside. That is why the coordinates are allotted such signs. So let us move to the first point, that is which has the coordinate minus 2 comma 4. So we can see that it has first coordinate x coordinate is negative and y coordinate is positive. Therefore, by looking at the quadrant system and by looking at the signs of the coordinates, we can say that it lies in the second quadrant, this point. So similarly, second, that is 3 comma minus 1, here we can see that first coordinate is positive and the second is negative, so it will lie in the fourth quadrant. Now minus 1 comma 0, x coordinate is negative and y coordinate is 0. See, these are some special points. They do not lie on quadrant but they lie on the axis. And which axis? Here it will lie on the negative x-axis. Why? Because minus 1 comma 0 means the first point, the first number tells you how many units you have to move either to the left or to the right, and the second point tells you how many units you have to move up or down. So here you can see that the second coordinate is 0. That means you don't have to move up and down, you just have to move 1 unit to the left of x-axis and stay there. So it will lie on the negative x-axis. Now moving on, we have the point 1 comma 2. Here we can see that both the coordinates are positive, so it will lie in the first quadrant. Similarly, now we have here minus 3 comma minus 5. We can see that x coordinate is negative and y coordinate is also negative, both are negative, so it will lie in the third quadrant. Now you have to verify by plotting them, by actually plotting them, these points on the Cartesian plane. So let us plot these points. You can see when we are plotting these points on the graph paper, we are taking here equal distances. You can see equal distances of 1 unit each. You can take 1 unit, 0 first is the origin, then equal unit 1, then 2, then 3 and so on. On the left also minus 1, minus 2 and minus 3. Here uh, here similarly on the y-axis 1 2 3 4 5 and -1 -2 -3 -4 and -5. Now we locate the point. Let us start with 1 comma 2. 1 comma 2 means first number tells you how many units you have to move either to the left or to the right. Because it is positive, then we'll have to move 1 unit here on the right side, and then the second number tells you how many units you have to move up or down. So because it is positive, you have to move 2 units up. So like this, we are reaching here. This, and touching this, we have this point -2. So 2 units up, and here we get to this point. Similarly, we can plot for the other points also. Let us take this particular one, that is 3 comma -1. Now again 3 comma -1 says that first number tells you how many units you have to move either to the left or to the right. So it tells us move, because it is positive, move 3 units to the right. So we move 3 units to the right here, 3 units to the right, and second number tells us how to whether to move up or down. So because this second number -1 is negative, we have to move down 1 unit down. So we move here 1 unit down, and here we reach this point. So it is 3 comma -1. Similarly, you can plot the other points. Now second question is, plot the point x comma y given in the following table on the plane, choosing suitable units of distance on the axis. So we have this point we have to plot. Like we have to plot this particular point -2 comma 8, then -1 comma 7, 0 comma -1.25, then 1 comma 3 and 3 comma -1. You have to plot these points. So how do we do this? Let us see. We have this graph, and again by taking 1 unit as 1 centimeter, we have plotted this axis, and we have plotted the points here. You can see, let us take this point, particular point 1 comma 3. 1 comma 3, I have told you that the first number tells you how many units you have to move to the right, and the second number tells you how many units you have to move up or down. Because they are positive, so we have to use the positive 3 units up, and we are reaching this particular point. Similarly, we can plot the other points, like -2 comma 8 here, -2 comma 8, -1 comma 7, and here 3 comma -1, and this particular point, that is 0 comma -1.25, because the first coordinate is 0. So it means you don't have to move either left or right. You just have to go straight down, because the second coordinate is negative, and you have to stay there, that is -1.25. So this particular point lies on the negative y-axis. So this way we have plotted the points and on the graph paper. Another example is, locate these points 5 comma 0, 0 comma 5, 2 comma 5, 5 comma 2, -3 comma 5, and -3 comma -5, 5 -3, and 6, 1 in the Cartesian plane. As you can see here, these are some of the points. This point lies here, 2 comma 5. It is entirely different from 5 comma 2, and this point 0 comma 5 lies on the y-axis, 5 comma 0 lie on the x-axis. This 5 comma -3 lies in the fourth quadrant, -3 comma -5, it lies in the third quadrant. So now you're able to plot the points in the Cartesian plane, and also by looking at the signs of the points, you can tell whether they lie in which quadrant, first, second, third, or